So this is just a little investigation of slope. When we looked at the staircase activity, we looked at this notion of steepness and how to try to figure out steepness. And when you talk about steepness in terms of math and in terms of lines, what you're really talking about is something called slope. So slope is a ratio or a fraction looking at how much something rises compared to how much something runs. So the vertical change versus the horizontal change. And the letter that represents slope in math is the letter M. So the formula for slope is rise over run. Ones like this on the left are positive slopes because we always want to read from left to right. So from A to B, the line is getting taller or rising and going up, so it's positive. And from C to D, when you read from left to right, the line is getting lower or going down or is negative. So we go through this investigation. It asks you, first of all, is AB positive or negative? So if we come back to here, what we can see is that AB is positive because it goes up to the right. Then it asks us to find the rise and the run. So if we come back here, the rise, we just count 1, 2, 3, 4, and the run is 1, 2. So the rise is 4 and the run is 2. Then we just use the formula, rise over run. That would be the slope, but we always want to make sure we simplify. So that particular one simplifies to 2. So let's look at the line segment CD. It says, is it positive or negative? So when we look at from C to D, when we read from left to right, we notice that the line goes down to the right. So that makes it negative. And then it asks us to find the rise and the run. So again, we'll come back here. The rise is 2 and the run is 3. So we'll use that formula for slope. Rise over run. The only thing we have to do here, be really careful, because we said that the slope is negative, we have to put a negative sign in front because it's going down. So don't forget that for negative lines. So for this one, and it's cut off a little bit here, you have to plot the point 1, 1 and the point 5, 1. And it asks you to connect them. And then it said, what's the rise? So in this case, it does not rise. The rise is 0 and the run is 4. So slope, or rise over run, is 0 over 4, and 0 divided by anything will be 0. This is going to be the case for all horizontal lines. Because any line that's horizontal, this one, all of these lines, none of them have a rise. So they're always going to have 0 on top, and 0 divided by anything will be 0. In the second one, it asks you to put a dot at 3, 5 and 3, 2 and make a line segment. Again, it asks you to find the rise. In this case, the rise is 3, and the run, in this case, it does not run. It does not go left or right, so the run is 0. So when we do rise over run, we get 3 over 0. Now this one's a little bit different. You cannot divide by 0 in math. If you were to punch this into your calculator, you would get an error message. So in math, we cannot define this number, so we call this undefined. And that's actually what we would say. If I said, what is the slope of this line, or what is the slope of a vertical line, you would say undefined. And again, this is for all vertical lines, because any of these lines, they all have rises, but none of them have a run. And so they will all end up with 0 on the bottom. So just to kind of refresh, we have lines. If you have a line and I give you 2 points, all you're going to do is you're going to make yourself a little triangle connecting those 2 points. And you're going to count the rise, and you're going to count the run, and you're going to do rise over run. The only thing you have to pay attention to are these ones are positive, And these types of lines are negative. So anything up to the right is positive, anything down to the left is negative. Other thing that you have to remember, anything that is vertical is undefined. And last one, anything that is horizontal has a slope of 0.